All right, I'm going to start with the opening language and take a roll call after that. So, pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GL Chapter 30A, subsection 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Easthampton Board of Public Works will be conducted via remote participation. Michelle won't be joining us this evening, so I'll be handling the roll call in minutes. Thomas Malsbury, present. Austin Sanders.
Present.
And David does not appear to be joining us this evening. I'm going to make a motion to open the Board of Public Works meeting for January 6th at 5:06 p.m. via remote participation.
Second the motion to open the meeting.
All right. Thomas Malsbury, yes. Austin Sanders?
Yes.
All right. Motion is open. Meeting is open, I'm sorry. First item on this evening's agenda is public speak. We have one member of the public in our call with us. If you would like to speak to anything not on the agenda, please feel free to unmute yourself and address the board. All right. Second item on our standing agenda is Mayor Speak. The mayor is not joining us this evening. So the third item on our agenda is approving the minutes from our last meeting from December 16th. Austin, you had a chance to review and we made some edits to those that we're all comfortable with?
Yes, I'm comfortable with the edits made.
All right, then I want to make a motion to approve the December 16th, 2020 meetings as revised and submitted to Michelle.
The motion.
All right, Thomas Malsbury, yes. Austin Sanders?
Yes.
All right, the fourth item I placed on the agenda is I labeled a preliminary discussion of the DPW FY22 budget and rate review. This is just something I wanted to start talking about so we're not in a similar situation we were last year with trying to cram everything into the last couple of weeks of the fiscal year, trying to get ready for this year. I more just wanted to get some information from Greg on sort of the budget process. The board hasn't really been involved in it in the past, and I know the mayor's made a request to reduce department budgets by 2.5%. So I just wanted to have this as sort of a talking point on the agenda just to keep the board informed of, you know, what decisions you have to make to meet that and make sure we're all comfortable with that and, you know, sort of have an idea what it looks like to, you know, hopefully, you know, we've talked, you know, in the past, I wanted to sort of develop a long-term capital budget, multi-year and an associated sort of a rate structure and get back to looking at either different models of rate collection and potentially the, you know, we had discussed in the past a separate stormwater enterprise. You know, I'm not sure that's something we can get done in this year. And I'm wondering if we need to look at sort of like a one-year budget and capital plan again, just so we're on the other side of the state of emergency and the pandemic. You know, just sort of what I'm thinking of, you know, where we need to go and how to get through the next year and then maybe start tackling the big issues again when we can have full public hearings and public input and buy-in and work with the mayor and the city council directly. So I just sort of wanted this as like a talking point, you know, to gauge the other board members' feelings and Greg's feelings and, you know, start to get public comment on our process as we go through.
Well, I think you're absolutely right in that we have to at least look at a rate increase just for a 1 year, similar to what we did last year, a 1 year rate increase until we can have a larger, more thorough conversation with more public input. As far as formulating a budget for next year goes, in the mayor's directive there, we've been told not to touch personnel services at all. So staffing needs to be leveled at what it is. So the cuts we're going to have to make there will come from more, you know, basically all from the O&M line item. So it will, it'll be a challenging a challenging budget to put together, although I do think we can do it, but it's not going to be easy. Michelle and I we're just kind of starting to work on it a little bit today. So
Yeah, no, I know it's very, very early days. I just sort of wanted to, have everybody involved, not involved, but aware of what's going on. And another thing I want to sort of look at is I'm probably going to touch base like I did last year in May, June, when we were made aware of the shortfall, where I worked with the treasurer and billing to sort of see our usage to date and
Yep.
do some projections and modeling. I may check in this month to sort of see where we are at the halfway point and how they sort of lined up with our usage. I'm wondering, in the last few months of that quarter, we started to see the initial impact of the pandemic, where we actually had a slight increase in usage. I'm interested to see if that's carried through the year, if we've had stronger revenue than we've expected, not expected, but, based on the usage, if that coupled with the 2.5% reduction, if we need to do a rate review, or if we'll hold based on higher usage.
I mean, usage now with what we're pumping is fairly normal for this time of year. It's no.
Okay, we're not seeing that 10% spike.
I mean, no, it was higher. Certainly in the spring when everything hit, and through the summer it was higher. But now we've been cutting run times back on some of the wells just because we were pumping too much. So can kind of balance it out. But
conversely, on the other side, I do want to make sure our reserves stay strong. I don't want to eat into them or erode them at all. Especially considering if we're going to be deferring some O&M, we should probably keep a bigger reserve for emergencies. As much as we want to be proactive in catching them before, if that's deferred, we have to make sure we can address them. If we have another outfall issue or anything along those lines.
Yeah. Right?
Exactly.
But,
so as far as we still have that open PO with tie and bond, if I do similar, projections and stuff, to have them assist with the final modeling, I also want to give them a longer runway too, because last time they bent over backwards to help us get stuff turned around over weekends, and I'd rather give them a little more time if we can, once you have a budget into the mayor, we'll know our target, and then, we'll have a quarter or so to start having public hearings if we have to. So
I do think what we should look at is a 1 year increase again, as much as a longer one would be better, but a multi-year would be better.
Yeah, no, I agree. And when we did the last one, I even stated in those hearings that, this was a one-off, and after this, I'd like to have a long-term plan in place. But
I didn't think this would drag on as long as it has.
You can ask anybody to commit to a financial timeline in the middle of a state of emergency when we don't know what the city budgets and household budgets are going to look like. So I think we may have another year where we just get through it together. So I just wanted to bring everybody up to speed with what's been rattling around in my head since the last vote. So
I think you're wise. It's just so you guys do know too, Valerie is retiring, the city auditor.
No, I didn't know that.
So she did have some input in that last year. I believe her last day with the city's February 4th. So that's going to kind of throw an additional wrench into things, but we'll have to.
Yeah, she was very helpful in bringing me up to speed last round when I was trying to figure out how to bridge the shortfall on short notice. So I will get all the information I can before February.
Yeah, right. So,
good to know.
It's going to be in high demand.
Yep, I'm sure. So, but we'll see. I know they have the job posted. I'm not sure if there's anyone internal or what the city's kind of direction is with it at this point. But
all right. So what is? I think I forget what the timeline is for you to prepare a budget for the mayor and her.
February 1st, I think.
Okay.
Or the end of February. We've got some time.
All right.
So.
And you're basically just going to develop what capital O&M we can do based on what you feel is priority and low-hanging fruit. And
Well, that's kind of what we're doing right now with capital, and I'm waiting for the rest of the things I put through to get approved. A couple did get approved by a finance subcommittee in their meeting last Wednesday, but their agenda was pretty long, so we didn't get to all of them. So the rest of them are on for I think the 13th.
Okay.
It's a week from tonight. So the final vote, the two that did get approved were the $30,000 to repair the Nonotuck well pump and the purchase of the new roller for the highway division. So,
But those will be in FY21, right? That's,
yes.
yeah, okay. I was more asking on how you're going to prioritize for what goes in FY22's.
Well, that's where those come into play,
Budget.
because if something doesn't get approved, it'll just get moved into FY22's capital.
Understood.
But for the most part, I think everything that we're asking for is minimal and very necessary. So I'm hoping we don't see much opposition to moving forward with those projects. I don't foresee it.
Great. All right. Austin, do you have any other thoughts on the topic, or?
No, that February date is helpful and fast approaching. So it's good to know what needs to happen before then.
Yeah. I just more wanted to get it on the agenda so it can just sort of be a talking point. And I don't know if we put it on each agenda or just.
I think we should.
Or a monthly, first of the. I mean, we can just keep it as a rolling. I can let you know what I found out, where we look like we're at. I just don't want it to be a scramble at the end again. So.
Agreed.
All right. Yeah. Nothing really to vote on or talk about. It was more just wanted to get it on the table. So it's an ongoing topic and an ongoing concern. So that way we can give everybody time if we need to have hearings and stuff like that. So. All right. So ties in nicely with item number 5 on the agenda, director's report.
Well, I don't really have a whole lot for you guys tonight. The guys did a heck of a job getting through those two small storms that blew through. And like I mentioned, the finance subcommittee did approve the purchase of the roller and the repairs to Nonotuck well. So I'm really hoping that Nonotuck well a final approval comes through for that, so we can get moving on that. I want to get that motor pulled and the pump gone through during the winter when demand's a little bit lower. So that's really it. It's been kind of a difficult couple weeks between the crews being staggered off with COVID and the holidays. It's just hasn't been a lot of staff around. So,
All right.
and one thing I'm looking to find is a benchmark. I need to speak with the mayor about a benchmark that we look to when we can bring the staff back full time, at least the field staff again, because now we're just kind of the bare minimum is all we're able to do. I've only got 2 guys in on any given day in highway, 2 in water, and skeleton crew at the wastewater treatment plant. So I don't know if we need to come up with what the benchmark is to get everybody back, but hopefully we're able to determine what that is over the next week or so. So challenging times we're in here.
Yeah, understood.
I did have an employee that transferred to the water department from the highway division. He started over there this week, so that highway was a little heavier on staff. So at least we do have 2. We have a supervisor and 2 guys there, any given day at least. So that's helpful. So we're really not seeing much for applicants. We haven't had a single applicant for the mechanic helper. We haven't had an applicant for the water division foreman. But we'll post the job that was vacated with the highway transfer over the next. There's a provision in their union contract that allows him to transfer back if he wants to within so many weeks. So we'll have to, as soon as that's up, we'll post that position. And really, that's kind of the biggest hurdle right now is one of the biggest hurdles right now is a lack of applicants for some of the positions we have posted. So hopefully something gives here.
Yeah, I was actually looking through some of the postings. All the requirements that you have Do you expect candidates to have all those qualifications, or is there any onboarding that's allowed?
The biggest one we need, whoever comes in with that job, to have is a grade 3 water distribution license.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the hardest one to get. If someone came with no CDL or no hoisting license but had that, we would certainly talk to them. We're not sticklers on it, but just
Right.
that person needs to go on our staffing plan that we submit to Mass DEP.
And that's the critical.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's a challenging thing because you can be a foreman with the union. You can be a foreman in the highway department and that license isn't a requirement. Yet you get paid the same as the foreman in the water department. So our hands are kind of tied with how much we can offer for a salary for that position. So it's something that I need to talk with the mayor and the personnel director a little bit more about how we, what we can do with that. Because the long and short of it is we're going to have to push the rate up for that job, I think, to get a qualified person in here. And unfortunately, with the way the contract is, we really can't do that right now. So we may have to look at changing that position a little bit to get that other person in. Because right now, the Mass DEP is okay with the way we're operating because I have a license and Clayton, who's the utility supervisor, has a license, and we're both still here. We haven't, no one's actually left that was on our staffing plan. But we do need to get that other person in here.
Understood.
But, yeah, that's really all I've got for tonight.
All right. All right, Austin, do you have any other questions for Greg or anything?
Oh, I don't have anything else. I appreciated those things we should know about the calendar in February. So thanks.
I did check. The date is February 1st. So
okay.
Okay.
Thanks for those. Those are helpful, and I think it's good to have that item on the agenda each meeting. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'd rather have it and we can talk about it if we feel we need to, or move past it if we don't, but without it being on the agenda, it's off the table. So, all right, well, with that, I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second the motion.
All right, Thomas Walsbury, yes. Austin Sanders.
Yes.
All right, meeting is adjourned at 5:22 p.m. Have a good time. Good week, you guys.
yeah, thanks everybody. See you in a couple weeks.
All right, bye.
Bye.